Welcome to Arabesque, your access to the arts and cultural life from the Middle East communities right here in the metropole that is London. Today we are visiting the arts hub Testbed 1, where Ashtar company from Palestine, in collaboration with Bordercrossing, is giving us The Flesh is Mine.
Hecuba, I weep like a child. But without Hector's corpse, it is impossible for the king to mourn, and Achilles knows it.
Bordercrossings is a theatre company that works interculturally, which means most of our work is made in collaboration with organisations from overseas who cultures who see things differently, and we're particularly interested at the moment to be working with the Middle East because it's so hugely significant. Well, Ashtar's a company I've known about for quite a long time. I was introduced by a wonderful theatre maker called Arabesque, who's been out to Palestine a number of times and worked with them on the ground. A lot of their work is in community and grassroots work, including training, and Mojisola does a lot of that. But they also do work on a larger, more public scale like this, more art theatre if you like. And I was very interested in that dialogue and the fact that they're able to do things on both levels. The British actors, yes, I brought together here, and then the Palestinian actors, we actually auditioned by Skype.
This is driving us mad. You talk of the king as if he were another man.
We should call a truce.
11 days, 11 nights since Hector's death, and you say call it truce? Give me a knife, Brian, and I will take on Achilles myself and cut out his heart and eat it raw, and you say call it truce?
What else would you have me do? Send more of our finest out to be butchered. Without Hector, we cannot hope to beat them back again. Oh. But the war will go on.
Brian has been interested in the Middle East for a very long time, and he was asked some years ago to do some drama teaching in Greece and to do workshops around the Iliad. And from those workshops he started to feel that there was a resonance between the Homeric myth and what's happening in the Middle East today, a lot of which is to do with the fact that Homer deals with cycles of vengeance. So I'm going to kill you because you killed this person, and he kills that person because of that person, and so on. And the sense that the cycle somehow has to be broken out of. So yeah, it developed from the myth, and has actually involved now a lot of material which is much more contemporary. What we found during the first weeks of rehearsal was that we were constantly questioning the text, and particularly the Palestinian context was making us constantly question the text. There was a reference to a character not wanting to go to a refugee camp. And to a Western ear, you think of Syria and so on, you think, yes, of course no one wants to go to a refugee camp. But of course to the Palestinian people, the refugee camps are a badge of pride, because it's to do with the identity of the people who were displaced by the Nakba. And so we realized that that line could not be there, and actually we had to think of the whole idea of being a refugee differently. And so the dialogue was immensely productive, and from that the script evolved very significantly actually, and I think it's hugely improved as a result. Well, Iman is my counterpart at Ashtar, so she is the artistic director of that company. She's an actor, she's a director, she's a dramaturg, she's a trainer, she's a casting director, she's a producer, she's a makeup artist, one of the most extraordinary people I have ever met. And having her as our guide through Palestine, we started to see that country and that space through her eyes.
This is driving us mad. You talk of the king as if he were another man.
We should call a truce.
11 days, 11 nights since Hector's death, and you say call a truce?
Achilles is waiting in his tent at night. He has lost his great friend Patroclus in the war. He's been killed by Hector, and in return, Achilles has taken revenge by killing Hector in battle and desecrating his body. He drags it round and round the walls of Troy, tied to his horse's tail in the Iliad. And we were reminded of this by an image from Gaza a couple of years ago when some traitors were dragged behind motorbikes through the streets of the city. And as he's waiting there, he sees a ghostly figure coming towards him, which is, of course, the old king Priam coming out of Troy to ask for the return of the body of Hector.
Patroclus, have you returned? Have I slept? Did I dream your death? Was that a vision sent by some petty, jealous god resentful of the love between us? Are you hurt? It will not move so easily. Your wounds will need tending, Patroclus. You have aged. Battle does that to a man. Where are we? When is this time? Father? Peleus? How did you get here? Who next? Is this the end of days?
I think it's very much about a greater understanding of Middle Eastern culture and people, and overturning a lot of the prejudices and myths which surround Middle Eastern culture and people as they're perceived in this country right now. I think it's to do with understanding that the wars which go on in the region are not to do with some crazy Islamism, but actually are much more to do with colonial warfare, and that we, the West, are implicated in that, and we have to understand our own place in it. He's plunged into the center of it, as you saw. You're not in a conventional auditorium. It's all happening all around you, and so you become a witness. And when someone has witnessed something that is truthful, then they are far better able to report that to the rest of the world. So I hope we're able to send out some ripples of understanding into our wider society. And indeed, we want to give this piece a much longer life and take it out to the region and tour it, because it really, really deserves to be seen.